What's up, YouTube? Back again. This video will be about, in my opinion, the most effective ways to making hypertrophy improvements as a natural lifter, otherwise known as making them gains. So yeah, basically with that, this video could be summarized very, very quickly into 4 words, technically, if I wanted it to. And those 4 words could be calorie surplus, progressive overload. That's really all you need to make size gains, muscle increases, and all that. I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate it way too much. But honestly, as long as your calories are in a surplus above your maintenance level of calories, you need to maintain your weight. So, we're talking on average, between 3 to 500 over your maintenance level. But anything really anything over your maintenance level is technically a surplus. So as long as you're in a surplus, and you're gradually increasing the workload of your workouts, whether that's extra weight, extra sets, extra reps, just more volume in general. So as long as you're progressively overloading, your muscles and all that, that's really all you need to make hypertrophy gains. Just, eat more than what you're burning off, and then progressively add more weights, sets, or reps. That's literally as simple as it is. So I'll kind of go a little bit more into detail about the finer points of that. For training, I think for like most natural lifters, and also a little disclaimer for the rest of the video here, I'm speaking exclusively about natural lifters. Honestly, I'll be completely frank, I don't know much about anything with steroids and assistance, so when all that comes into play, I'm not 100% knowledgeable on what the most optimal ways are for training and nutrition. So I'm speaking completely for your natural, unassisted athlete here. I feel that for most natural athletes, after they've had some time underneath the iron, gotten their new games out of the way, and they've been lifting for 6 months to a year or so, I think most people can benefit greatly from working out muscles twice a week as opposed to once. I know like the biggest kind of bodybuilder split, or the most popular, is that traditional like 5-day split, like chest, back, legs, arms, shoulders. And I did that for a while. Like, and don't get me wrong, it worked pretty well. Like, honestly, I got most of the size that I have now following a routine similar, but that was also just because I was very new to lifting, so I was getting all that noob gains and all that. So any routine I would have been on at that time probably would have given me something to work with there. And my genetics kind of allow me to, I would say, above average genetics, so that kind of helps me adapt to different training programs, even if it's not the most optimal technically. So yeah, I think twice a week is definitely really ideal for a lot of natural athletes. It's more volume, more time to increase the muscle, increase the strength, but it gives you ample time to recover between your workouts. Um, and so I'm talking mainly chest, back, and legs being like the 3 biggest muscle groups, kind of. Like those can definitely stand to be worked out twice a week, just being bigger, have more room for overall growth. Arms and shoulders, I think those can be fine with once a week. If you want to train them twice a week, it's definitely fine too. But I think for most people, doing those once a week, as long as you hit them pretty hard and are pretty intense, that's usually sufficient enough. Um, and with kind of overall sets and reps and all that, I like to stick in the, I'd say, 6 to 12 rep range on average. I feel like that's best for overall hypertrophy growth. I'll normally start off workouts with more compound lifts. So if I'm doing like back, I'll do some type of like bent over row, T-bar row, deadlifts or something. Legs will be squats, some type of variation of that. Chest, some type of variation of a bench press. And in that lift, I may go down a little bit lower than normal. So I may go down to maybe 3 to 6 reps for my heaviest sets. But the working sets before that will usually be a little bit higher in reps, more in the 8 to 12 range. So once I have that compound lift out of the way, then I'll transition more into higher rep stuff and stick kind of exclusively in that 6 to 12 range, maybe even getting up to 15 there at the end of a workout to kind of really fatigue and burn out the muscle. With that, I like to pyramid my sets up usually as well. So normally I'll start out with higher rep with a little bit lower weight, and then by like my fourth set on that same exercise, it'll be heavier weight and just lower reps. So if I'm doing bench, for example, it may look like I may do 12 reps the first set, then 10, then 8, then like 6 or 5 or something along those lines. So I'm always kind of increasing the weight but dropping the reps down. So yeah, with that, that's what I feel is the best kind of training frequency for natural athletes. Lifting muscles twice a week. Definitely your bigger muscles, and making sure you're getting your important compound powerlifting movements at the beginning of the workout when you're your strongest and can go heaviest, and therefore reaping the full benefit of that exercise. So yeah, that's basically it as far as the training methods go. And then yeah, the nutrition, basically what I said earlier just stands. You just have to eat more than what you're burning off. So there's a bunch of calculators you can look online that will tell you your maintenance level of calories based on some information that you give it. And basically all it is literally eating anything over that. So obviously the more you eat over it, the quicker you'll probably be able to put on weight. There might be more fat in the process there, but if that's really not an issue for you, a bigger surplus could help if you have like a really fast metabolism and are naturally really, really skinny. If you have naturally kind of a slower metabolism and have had a hard time kind of keeping off weight in the past, then maybe a slight surplus would be better for you, just to minimize the fat gain that's very easy for you to gain, but still obviously eating enough to grow. So while the size gains and muscle gains, strength gains may not come extremely fast with that route, it's kind of a slow and steady wins the race type of mentality. Know that you're still making progress no matter how slow it is, and you're still, heading down the right direction. It may just take you a little bit longer, but you just kind of have to work with what you're given there. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Just to recap, it's as simple as calorie surplus, progressive overload. That's literally all you need. People complicate shit way too much. I've probably complicated shit too much myself this video, just explaining shit when all I needed to say was progressive overload, calorie surplus. That's it. Alright guys, that video is pretty much done. Any video suggestions you have in the future, leave comments below. As always, if you want to contact me for one-on-one coaching, my email is in the description bio below. And yeah, that's it. Till next time guys. Thanks for watching.